Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Welcome to tonight's stellar pack. Talk TV's Esther Krakue and Lorraine Adrian. Hello.
Good evening.
Miss me?
Of course.
Oh,
Look at those faces. Ever faces smiled saying yes but meant no. Those are the faces. I want to show a clip. This is President Biden, most powerful man in the world, the leader of the free world. You know he always does weird stuff these days, right?
No.
Look what he does to this baby who he's never met. Have a look at this. Now, this was taken in Helsinki when he left the summit last week, before he boarded Air Force One. But it's so weird, Esther.
I think the
what
thing is-
man would do that to a baby he's never met?
yeah. I'm not usually. I usually give old people a pass because they're older and you have to respect your elders.
He's nibbling a strange baby.
There is a bigger issue at hand here, which is he just keeps making more and more gas. Everyone can see that he is becoming a bit senile.
Yeah.
And the Democrats really need to take this conversation seriously
I
because
agree.
this man cannot run for. I'm sorry. I don't think he'll be able to make it to the next general election. I mean, to the extent that he can still maintain his mental faculties to even do that, I really
all these
have
images we're showing him
Honestly,
falling. This is happening every
I
week.
feel bad.
Paula,
It's
defend
embarrassing.
the man. I mean,
This isn't about defending him. This is about
Well, it is.
This is about querying why it's appropriate to criticise someone for being kind to a small human. Because that's what all he was doing.
I think you're
he was being
conflating
he
Let's
was
have a
being
look. Let's have a look at
kind
these
to
Hannibal
a-
Lecter impression again.
Oh,
Then come on.
please.
Let's have another look at it.
Please.
I don't think kind is the word I'd use. He's literally nibbling a baby who looks
I don't even
shocked and traumatized.
I
Look at
don't
the baby.
have a
He's
problem with that.
trying.
Poor thing, look at her.
I
She's just
don't have a
terrified.
problem with that, but clearly the man is losing the ability to take on social cues.
Well,
that's the bigger issue
He's
here.
being playful.
No, that's fine.
And we can see he's being playful
That's
because
fine.
we've all been there where a small child has
No,
rejected,
I've never nibbled
us,
a strange
and
baby.
we
I
can
never have.
see the adults around.
So, Paula,
who are
Paula,
also finding
Paula,
it very funny.
we haven't
you
all
want
been
to
there.
focus
We
on
haven't
bringing the
all
man
been there.
down.
I've never
And this
nibbled
is desperate,
a strange
Piers.
baby.
It's desperate.
Well, it's not. It would be if it was in isolation. But if you take it in the context of him repeatedly falling over,
Yes.
tripping on Air Force One, falling off bikes, all the verbal gas which
Saying
have been
Putin is losing
relentless,
war in
even
Iraq.
saying God save the Queen the other day randomly 9 months after he attended her funeral. It's a procession now of verbal and physical gaffes.
It's true. What we have is the press reporting a
We're
procession.
seeing them.
I agree with you.
What do you mean
and I
reporting them?
wonder why we have this focus. Is it because of his age? Is it because
Yes.
we think that you just cannot stand
Well, are you joking?
as a you cannot be taken
the man
seriously?
said- It's
not
because of
about his age. It's not about his age.
Well, if it's not about his age, what is it?
Because I know
about?
people like Joan Collins who are
Because
10
we're
years
not-
older and are half, they seem half their age. The problem is not his age, it's his condition.
Well-
he looks to me to be at a fairly advanced stage now of senility, and he's the man with his finger on the trigger.
Okay, can we just
And,
okay?
and
Paula,
where do we get that information
Paula,
from that he looks
if-
From my eyes and
that's not-
ears.
that's your own personal view. We're not being told.
No,
by any
it's
of
a view shared by
any
most
of the-
people.
By the medics that surround
Do
him.
you feel comfortable that if he wins the next election, he'd be there for another 4 years, which is 6 years from now?
If that's who the voters vote in,
No,
then
do you
of course
feel-
I'd be
do you feel
comfortable with
comfortable the
that.
President of the United
Because
States would be in that
I believe in
condition?
democracy, and that's what happens, Piers, when you're
Even
voted in.
if he's totally gaga.
But look, Piers, who is saying he's totally gaga?
My
You,
eyes and ears.
Because you don't
I think
agree
you're
with
lying to
him.
yourself.
Or
I don't believe. I don't genuinely believe.
And by the way,
this.
if he was a Republican, she'd be saying he's totally
Have you heard
gaga.
medics say that he's senile?
My dear,
Have we heard
this
that?
man.
All right, we've got to move on. We're going to talk about.
Staying
Let's
around
move on to
here.
another age story. So there was a fantastic game at Wimbledon yesterday.
Yes.
Alcaraz taking down Djokovic, or as somebody put it, I think it was the Times today. The kid beats the goat, which I thought was great. And it was a fantastic game, obviously. But there was another talking point, which was this guy. Let's have a look. Brad Pitt.
Oh yes.
Who looked unbelievably youthful, right? He is 60 in December.
Yep.
Right?
Great.
And yet he doesn't look it, right? So we don't know why. Maybe it's a wonder of something. Maybe it's natural. Maybe it's not. Who knows in Hollywood? But we thought we'd have a little game, which is Pitt the younger or older. Right? We've had a few of those in the
Definitely
time.
younger.
Well, I'm going to show you some pictures of people.
Okay.
And you've got to tell me whether they're younger or older than Brad Pitt.
Wow.
Go on.
Okay.
They're about.
I'm going to say younger, but definitely looks older.
I think they're about the same age.
Boris Johnson is only younger by 6 months than Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Next. Nigel Farage.
Oh, he's definitely older.
Older, yeah.
He's younger than Pitt by 3 months.
It's in the neck, really?
Yeah, he's younger than Brad Pitt. Look at that. He looks about 20 years old, doesn't he? OK, next one. Governor Ron DeSantis.
I think he's younger.
I think younger.
He's younger by 16 years than Brad Pitt. Look at that.
Yeah.
Huh? Next one.
Well, I know
Tom Cruise.
I know he's older.
Same age? No?
But
He's a year and a half older Cruise than Brad
Okay.
Pitt. And now probably the most difficult one of all.
Actually, that's a good question.
Wow, I mean, this is
Same
troubling
age?
me.
No,
I
you
know,
must be younger.
no.
You have to be younger.
Easy.
I was going to say, he must be older than you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paula.
Yeah.
And thank you, not. I am younger by a year and 3 months, apparently, than Brad Pitt. I got to say, he looks good on it, Brad Pitt. I've only met Brad Pitt once, and it was at the Oscars. I was in the red carpet for CNN, and I shouted out Brad. He arrived late with Angelina when they were still talking to each other. And I've just got a brilliant picture that somebody took, and it's Brad just going, "Hey, man!" like that. That's it. That's my Brad Pitt moment. Literally just said, "Hey, man." But I remembered it, and it was a moving moment. Let's talk about, well, not another man, let's talk about a pyramid of white supremacy. The Church of England has defended teaching controversial race theory, saying kids shouldn't wait until 18 to learn about racial justice. So, teaching guidance issued by the Diocese of St Edmundsbury and Ipswich is the white supremacy pyramid. At the bottom, racial indifference and jokes, and at the top is mass murder. The suggestion being that if you don't get a grip at your school early, Esther, you become rapidly a white supremacist mass murderer. Why is this being taught in our schools?
Honestly, it's very baffling, and it's as if the church doesn't have, there aren't enough social ills to go around. There are not enough issues in society for the church to address. I grew up as an Anglican, and looking at many Anglican churches in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia in particular, looking at the Church of England and what they're doing to the religion is quite worrying. I mean, this is really a non-issue, and it has nothing to do with the Church of England. I don't understand why they need to choose politically charged topics to try and, I don't know, further the cause of God knows what.
But this presumption, Paula, that it's a bit like when they did the Gillette reboot, when they ditched their man-supporting campaign and basically made it out, if you don't do something, you're all going to be Harvey Weinstein. It's that. It's like, why go to these extremities of mass murderers if you don't deal with your critical race theory at school? It's nonsense.
So I don't think it is that. So firstly, it's not nonsense.
You've got 30 seconds to try
well,
and defend
exactly,
it.
and it's not controversial. It's called critical race theory. Remember, this is something that was born out of academics. They were lawyers. They were discussing about justice and injustice within institutions, not about individuals. And it's the church attempting to teach about injustice. That's really important.
Yeah, but it's not, though. It's telling kids they're going to be mass murderers if they carry on.
I don't agree with you, and I don't agree with that's what they're being taught,
All right.
peers.
Got to leave it there. We'll come back to that issue, though. Good to see you.